Hey guys, good afternoon, good morning, good evening. I am here with Brooke, who is a friend and a client of mine. She's come through, and in the last 2 years, she's done, I think, a little over 500,000, maybe in a little less than 2 years with us. So, previous to joining us, she had a pretty big business, and then things changed after COVID. Everything kind of stopped working. She came through, she's absolutely crushed it, and now she's created this 7 hour binge method, which helps her clients to be able to have people binge their content, right, faster so that you can sign clients more consistently. So I'm really, really excited to have you here, Brooke. Welcome and hello.
Hi, well, I'm excited to be here and I'm grateful for you and I'm grateful for everything that we've done, of course, and just looking forward to helping other people with this system. I tell you, like when people get it figured out, it's so simple and it just works. And that's what's so exciting.
I okay, we're live. Oh, I don't know if we're actually live. We are live. We are live. Amazing. So, I'm gonna ask you like some tips and trips and some things that you're doing with your clients that are working really well. But
Yep.
first, I would really like to talk about just pre coming into our program because stuff changed, right? And stuff that was working stopped working. And I know that there are a lot of people that I speak to that previously things that was working for them is not working for them now, and that's a bit of a it's like it's frustrating, it's demoralizing, it's like it's upsetting, right? And it's also like, well, is it ever going to work for me again? And you kind of went through that and then turned it around. And so, can you share a bit about that?
Yeah, I love to. And so, yeah, so I'm Brooke Allison. For those who don't know me, I am a mind shift expert and an achievement strategist. So, what I really focus on doing with my clients is collapsing time with energetics and strategies to their next $100,000. So, for me, I mean, gosh, pre-COVID and during COVID, I've been doing this for 9 years, almost a decade. I was doing really good. I mean, I made over $2 million in my business and I don't know. To this day, I really don't know what happened. It's just strategies sometimes stop working. You have to pivot with how the market pivots. You have to lean into what's working, what's not working, and be flexible to the change. And so, you guys, I was on cloud nine. I was making like $50,000 cash months. I had like six of those in a row, which was freaking fire. And then it just started dwindling and it started dipping. And I was like, all of a sudden my monthly clients went to like quarterly clients and I was like, oh man. And then I felt like I was pulling teeth to sign clients and I was like, what the heck is going on? Like this is not how it was the last few years. And it got so bad, you guys, to the point that I was so valued. I had one active client that I adored that worked with me for like 4 years. And then all of a sudden, this person did not sign back on with me again. And I was gutted. I'm gonna be honest. I was really gutted for a while because I was banking on that. And I was devastated. But you know what? I've been doing this for so long. However, I have to tell you guys, be careful what you fear and be careful with what you desire because my biggest fear was that everything would just come crumbling down, that all of a sudden my business wouldn't work anymore. And that's exactly what happened. That's it. My business just wasn't working anymore. However, you can turn any mess, any breakdown, any like terrible moment into a breakthrough. And I'm a firm believer of that. And through adversity comes champions. And I always invite people to come champion with me. So with that, that's kind of when, I was like, Sarah, what you got going on, girl? Because it is working over here and I need to figure something out. And you're like, Brooke, this is going to work for you. And at the time I was like, I don't know. I was like, is it going to work for me? I don't know. My belief system was shot. I was really devastated by the hindrance of my business. I was known in the space as a person that crushed it, and all of a sudden I just wasn't. I couldn't sign clients for the life of me. But that breakdown is where I created the 7 hour binge method. Like that's where this whole system got ironed out in five simple steps, just boom, 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 of exactly how to take leads into a paying client.
Cool, I like that. Can we talk about just something that you mentioned, right? Like I don't think this is going to work for me. And I guess what you had to either the mindset shift that you have to have or what you had to get over, right, to be able to say, okay, well, I'm going to go and I'm going to get help, or I'm going to try this, or right when you're kind of like at that point of like, I don't think it's going to work.
And I think I've been at that point a number of times. I think that, sometimes what happens, and the hardest part about business is our 6 inches between our own ears. It's right here. And I have been through multiple situations, multiple ups, multiple downs, where I kind of was like, maybe this isn't working. Maybe it's not going to work anymore. Maybe this whole thing was a fluke and I made some money and that's all that was for me and that's all that it was going to be. So I've had all of those thoughts. We often think we're alone in our thoughts, and typically everybody who's done something with their life, they've had the exact same thoughts. So there's a couple things that I did. I actually had just had a conversation with my clients at dinner in Arizona not too long ago. They were kind of asking me. And one thing that I would really, really advise you guys to do, because a lot of you guys aren't on your own. You aren't single. You do have a backbone. You have another person that helps out with the bills. But what would it be like if you just pretended that everything was on you? Like you had no other choice. Like you were the only one who paid the bills. So there was part of me was thinking about the reality of my situation is if my bills are paid, it's because of me. There's no other ands or buts about it. So I had to kind of sit with the fact of, okay, I figured this out once before. I can figure it out again. And it's no one's responsibility to figure this out but me. Like I have to figure it out, you know? I didn't have anybody else to rely on. And I'm telling you because oftentimes we'll use people as a crutch or a reason to not do things. So that was kind of the pressure I was feeling. But on the flip side, you can't just feel pressure. Having your back against the wall is good when you have a plan. It's not good when you don't know what you're doing. So then on the flip side, I had to focus on rewiring my mind. I had to focus on, okay, what is all the evidence that I've ever had in my entire life that when I was worried about it and then I let go, it worked out? What was all the evidence that I had where, because I know people may not know this, but I was on food stamps when I started this business. I had $20 to my name. And so I rewired my brain once before. If you get yourself into a belief system, you can get yourself out of it. So with the pressure of, okay, no one pays my bills but me, so I got to get it figured out because now I have a house and I've got responsibilities and things I want to do and dreams I want to accomplish. But two, what is all the evidence that shows me that I can do this? And what are the evidence that I see in other people? What qualities do I see similarly that I have that Sarah has, or that, I have that someone else has that's crushing it to say, okay, I have those qualities too. I can do that. And it was also just consistency. It's that C word that no one likes. And it sucks because I've been very frustrated with my own journey as well. I had to swallow my ego and be like, okay, let's just see what happens. If we can go back to the place of being too dumb to doubt, and that's not an insult of like, before you knew anything, you didn't know anything. So as soon as someone told you to do something, you were like, okay, I'm gonna do it. And I fight sometimes. I'm like, I don't know. But once I process, I'm like, okay, I'm gonna do it. It's kind of like at the gym. If I'm doing burpees, I'm like, God, I do not want to do this, but I'm gonna do it. I just might complain about it along the way. So I don't know. Just a little bit of a mixture of those things, I think really helped in the last few years.
Lots of gold, lots of gold. So I'm going to summarize that, guys, and write notes, like bullet point this down. So basically, I'm always like systemizing stuff in my head, right? So I'm like listening to everything you're saying. And so basically, she's saying number one is put a healthy amount of pressure on
Yeah.
yourself. So she's like, healthy amount of pressure there. I've got to do this. Number two was stacking the truths and stacking reality in your favor. So like, when have I been able to do this? Like finding the proof, which I think is really powerful. I think Tony Robbins talks a lot about that. Number three was looking for qualities that you mirror in your mentors and in people who are already successful. So if they've got those qualities, I've got those qualities, I can be successful too, right? There was a few more in there. I think I'm forgetting some of them now, but one was like being too dumb to question anything.
Too dumb to
That was
doubt.
right,
Yes.
too dumb to doubt. So I love that. Super, super
Yeah.
amazing.
Like
10.
what it would look like if you just got told to do something and you're just like, okay, and you just go do it, right? And you're like, okay, like I'll do it. So, yeah.
I like that. I'm going to remind you of that next
Yeah.
time. Okay, Brooke, too dumb to doubt. What can you tell me? I would love because you're in like a unique situation, right? Like really successful, everything stopped, now really successful again, right? What are some things that you stopped doing that weren't serving you before? And then
Mm,
what are some things that you have implemented in your business, maybe two or three tips that
yeah.
have helped you tremendously?
That's actually a great question. So obviously, you guys, if you can imagine, a lot of the income I had, I didn't have a lot of high expenses, but I was paying a big team. I was paying a big team. I was paying for different platforms that eventually I was hemorrhaging money. So I couldn't pay for them anymore. So I had to stop doing a lot of things. Everything almost went to a standstill. I stopped doing anything that I truly did not see an ROI in, anything that was not producing income. I had to get really strong and serious about, does this make money or is it just wasting my time? And then I just cut it because I had no choice. So, one thing I cut, which I still love, and maybe I'll bring it back one day, but I cut my podcast. So that was something that I felt like my podcast, although it got me some really cool opportunities, it was not necessarily created an ROI. However, it was just an asset that I had. And it's still an asset. I can still lead people to those old, episodes and different things like that. But that's something I had to stop doing because I fell out of love with it. But then, two, it wasn't creating a direct ROI. Focusing on all platforms at one time. I, had gotten quite a big, good amount of audience on Instagram. And for at the time, it wasn't bringing an ROI. So I stopped doing that because I knew Facebook was the jam. Okay. I knew that I know exactly how to sign a client through Facebook. It's one platform. Let's stop jumping through hoops. Let's just do what I know to be true. Okay. What else? I had to cut my team. So I had to stop doing anything that didn't produce income. And I started from zero. And why I'm grateful for that is I had to rewrite all of my SOPs of what my team is doing now, and I realized that maybe we were missing things and there was things that weren't happening that I thought were happening. And so it was a rude awakening that I needed to be able to scale.
This is so good. So, so good. So, ruthless, like, and I think this is a really good time to have this conversation too, right? Because there's obviously a lot going on in the world with the war and people are worried about
Mhm.
prices of things going up. And so how can you like, be so ruthless about cutting things that aren't income generating? And I love that you took it down to even like what platforms. Like I have you had because you're big, like not like massive, you got like 10,000 Instagram followers or something. So
Mhm.
you had like a decent sized group, a decent sized podcast, decent sized
Mhm.
Instagram, but you're like, well, only Facebook is making me money. So
Well, that, and I couldn't do it all because I
yeah,
had to be, I was back to a solopreneur because I
yeah,
couldn't afford a team. So I
yeah,
was like,
yeah,
okay, it's me, myself, and I'm going to do this. And if you try to do everything, you spread yourself thin.
yeah.
Now we're getting back into everything now because the system works so well. Like we now we're like, okay, bring on the leads because now that I know what to do and I know exactly how to get someone from a stranger to paying client in 7 hours, I'm like, easy. Let's just get more people. Let's talk to more people. So now we're like we have a team of three and growing. And so that's you you get to rebuild. Every day gets to be a new day zero, a new day one. You can just decide right now that like you're going to make this happen. So
No, I like that. I like that. So be very, very intentional about what's income generating,
yeah.
and also rebuilding systems from the ground up, right? And identifying where are the gaps and where can you plug stuff in? Where are you just
Yeah.
letting stuff slack because it was easy before, right? And then it needed to be dialed in, which
Yeah.
I guess is how you dialed in your system. Because if you didn't have to do that, you wouldn't have created the 7 hour binge method, which is tell us like what is a 7 hour binge method?
Yeah. So here's the deal, you guys. You have to understand that we all heard. You know people need touch points. We know this, right? There's statistics. If you guys go look up sales stats, there's like it's like 2% of buyers buy off of the first contact. And then it's like 80% of buyers buy off of the 12th contact, you know? There's literally
10,000 contact.
like, just go look it up. It's like literally you could just Google it. But so we know this, right? We understand the concept of this. However, early in my business, I was just doing anything and everything trying to make ends meet. And something that I noticed was people would come back into my world because I've been doing live videos for like years now, and people would pop back up. And I'll reach out to them and I was like, oh, shoot. Like I messaged them in 2017 and we haven't talked since 2017. Whose
Mm.
fault was that? Mine. So, what this is creating a series of intentional touch points and bingeable opportunities. Because if someone binges your content for 7 hours, they are going to be naturally inclined to want to the next step with you. They want to buy from you. So we're actually building the journey of yeses. You need approximately, I would say 12 to 14 yeses on a psychological level, the baby yeses. Every psychological baby yes someone gives you, the easier your yes to your offer is going to be. So instead of just doing that willy-nilly and hoping for the best and being like, oh, whatever happens, and I'm just going to try to post everywhere, there are so many people that are just posting, posting, posting with no strategy, and their content kind of sucks a little. It kind of sucks. And it's okay, but that's cool because you don't have to have like a ton of engagement. I
Mhm.
was making multiple six figures and I had like two people like my stuff prior to recently,
Yeah.
and now it's blowing up, right? Or
Yeah,
not,
your content's going good now,
oh, it's
hey.
going great. Thank God.
Yeah.
I'm grateful. But I
Yep.
tell people that wasn't, I have screenshots. It was not that way. I'm pretty
Yep.
sure it was like two people liked it and I have screenshots of it. But you need to build where did they say yes to and what can they say yes to and what can they continuously tune into to keep
Yep.
experiencing you. Because the way I talk about it, if anybody was ever like a dancer or in gymnastics or whatever, going on releve is like you going on your tippy toes, right? Like you go on your toes, and if you rise up, this is the journey. People, how many times, I'm saying, I'm sure you get this, that someone, they opted into something and then they're like, what? I don't remember. I don't even remember doing that. And they're kind
Yeah.
of like, have their guard
Who
up
are
because they're
you?
like,
Where
yeah,
did
they're
you
like,
come
what? Why are
from?
you talking to me? But they got excited and then they deflated. So what happens on the journey is oftentimes people only get them half excited. They only take them halfway through and then they deflate. So what really needs to happen is you have to put them back through your 7 hours again. And so when you have a more intentional journey, you have the steps mapped out with the follow-up included. So you're leading them, you're leading them, you're leading them, they're excited. If you're on your tippy toes, and I encourage anybody just to try it, like get on your tippy toes right now, the natural progression is forward. The
Mm.
only other option is to deflate, to go back down, in which case we have to go all the way back up again. Where people struggle is when they don't know what the next step is for their lead. Often people don't even know how to get leads, and then they don't know how to close it. Those are two different problems. We get stuck in the unaware phase or the aware phase. If we're stuck in the unaware phase, there's no way we can convert. If we're stuck in the aware phase, we still need to focus on converting, you know?
Yeah.
So,
I'm gonna ask you like maybe one or two more tips, but do you have anything to help people like implement the 7 hour binge method? I was gonna call it 7 lead binge method. I was like, hold on, that's not quite coming out right.
so
Or to anything.
yeah, yeah. So, you guys, if you're seeing this, just comment leads below, okay? Because I actually just built this not that long ago because I was just sponsoring an event with Andy Elliott and Dean Graziosi. And so I gifted this to them, but I will gift it to you. It's the 100 leads in 1 week method. Okay. So in here, it is like, I don't even know, like 20 pages, fully built out. I actually showed you an example of one of my clients. Um, at the time, she had 1,000 leads from this one post. I'm not even joking. One post. And she told me the other day it is now at 3.2. And I was like, she's like, what do I do? I said, go slow. Just go slow. I don't know, go slow. Because
Nice.
that's what's so cool is sometimes it will hit right. But typically people don't know how to get their leads and then they don't know what to do once they get the leads. So what we need and what you need to understand is that your leads, they go into two categories. 50% of the people coming through are maybe not going to be necessarily the best fit. They may be in a different country where the currency exchange just really is crap. Or they could just not be a good vibe with you, right? Or whatever. And so they're just like a no. The other 50% has the potential to say yes to you. Here's the kicker. from the yes 50%, it goes into two categories from there. Most people know strategies for the 15%. 15% of those people will buy between the first 0 to 90 days. Now, with the 7 hour binge method, we're going to accelerate that so you can get paid in 7 hours per lead. Okay. Now, with that said, 85% of those 50%, they will buy between 90 days to 2 to 3 years. But most people don't understand that strategy, which is why they're always trying to get new people to do the 15%. So, yes, we do want to grow. We want to know how to get unlimited leads for free, which is what I teach my clients. And then you need to have the journey so we can actually close them with the micro yeses in 7 hours.
The money is in the follow-up, right? I like that everyone's marketing to the just that small percentage. But if
Yeah.
you can keep them in the pipeline, keep them warm, and then you're just building like a thick pipeline, right? Thick and meaty.
My honestly, my client Lauren is such a good example of this, and I love her to freaking pieces. She has come to every event I have done for about 2.5 years before she decided to buy. Now, granted, she went through 7 hours multiple times, and it just finally became the right time for her to be like, yes, I'm in. And now I truly believe because she's been on such a journey, and really have such good connection that she will probably be together for life. Like truly, like
Yeah.
I love her and she's crushing and she's so grateful. Now she needed her own journey for whatever reason, because sometimes they take themselves down. Maybe it's not you, and maybe they just don't see your message. Sometimes things happen externally, but you have to do what you can control. And I tell you what, so many people are like, like scared to like bother people and like follow up too much. And I get people thanking me for like following up with them. I get
Yeah.
people being like, oh my gosh, like this is so awesome. Like, thank you so much for connecting again. Like, I'm so sorry I didn't see your message the other day. I didn't mean it, whatever and so forth. Like, people are busy and half the time they're not thinking about us, anyways.
Yep. Love it. Love it. All right. Final tip. Something like I don't know, if someone's like, they're sort of at that point where they've been trying for a while, been online for a while, and
Mhm.
maybe they've seen a little success, but not like, it might not even been a client, but maybe just like they had a bit of hope that it could work, and then maybe they had it a few times, but it hasn't really taken off, and yeah, they're at that point that they're exhausted and like they're questioning, like, is this going to work for me? Can I build this online business? What would be your number one piece of advice to that person?
What would you think? Like, if you knew the next action you took would sign 5 clients, how would you show up doing that? Like, what do you need to believe in your method? Like, what do you need to believe in the system? And maybe you need a little bit more of a more dialed in system. That could totally be fair. When I look at my clients, I look at the strategy. Are you doing the strategy right? Okay, if that's not working, then let's figure out what the heck's going on in your mind, right? Because I am a master practitioner in NLP, master hypnotherapist. We got to figure out what's going on in here. However, sometimes you can just trick your brain. One of my favorite ways to trick my brain is adopting like the what if. Well, what if I did just make $10,000 today? Like, what if someone just paid me in full for $100,000? Like, what if I signed 5 clients? Like, what if the action I took today got me a lead that turned into a client? Like, what if? Like, too often our brain is naturally trying to protect us, and we go down the spiral of everything in the negative. And just I just dare you to what if the positive too? Like you must what if the positive and just kind of trick yourself into it. Honestly, like you can do anything you want. Like I truly believe if something is on your heart, it's already meant for you. You're just taking the steps to get there. And figure out the steps, make the plan and work the plan. Your plan, you say it all the
It
time.
works
I
if
love
you
I
work
love
it.
it. It works if you work, but you say it all the time too, is like the data over the drama. Like what's the data? Like what's going on? Like what are you actually doing every single day? And are they things that produce income, or are they like fiddle farting activities that like you're just like, oh, let me work on my freebie for the millionth time again? That doesn't produce any income until you put it out into the world, right? So anyways,
Cool.
you have a choice to believe in yourself, right? Find the evidence to prove it to you, and then let's focus on just moving forward. Like, what if you just cut ties, say, okay, that version of me, I'm done with it, and let's who do you want to be? How do you want to be remembered? And focus on that.
I like that. I like that. If you want the guide, comment leads to get the guide. But then it works if you work it. So what if the positive? I like that. What if the positive? You get to choose to believe in yourself. Thank you,
And
Brooke.
one more thing, real quick.
Yes.
What I always like to remind people of is you have to remember that this is not all about us, right? We make it about us a lot. And there is someone's dream who is tied to yours achieving yours. Like there's a dream tied to yours, or there's multiple dreams tied to you achieving yours. So it's like, why not be the person who leads? Like, why not be the person that shows up and does the hard thing and does go through adversity, and chooses to go after their dreams every single day because you never know who's watching you that is inspired by you, that because you went after yours, they now get to go after theirs. I will always thank people for being a belief barrier breaker for me, for showing me that something better is available. So it's like, why can't we be that belief barrier breaker for other people? Okay, that's it. Sorry. I just had to.
I love that. So, so good. Other people's dreams are tied to you achieving yours. So what if the positive, guys? What if the positive? I love it. Thank you, Brooke. Really appreciate it. Bye.